Chiefs and Bucks. It is Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Owen Simpson alongside Tavian Miles and Connor Mullins for a special edition of the Top of the Key. Top of the Key is a product of the ACU Optimist and available to listen on all podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also check us out on our own website at acuoptimist.com. This is also a video podcast, so you can check it out on our website as well. All right, let's get to it. So it is Super Bowl weekend, a few days away from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. So just talking about the implications of this Super Bowl, let me just start over. What do the Chiefs have to do to win the Super Bowl? Tavian, let's start with you.
Well, number one, I think the Chiefs need to work on their tackling. Their defense has elevated from last year. Last year, they were known for starting off slow, and then in that case, it transferred up to the offense, starting off slow too, but they would pick it up in the second half. I think this year they're way better, but they need to work on their tackling in the open field. Tom Brady, he's relied on the deep ball the past couple of weeks, and I think he's going to have to – and I think the Chiefs are going to have to just work on route running and just getting tackles in the open field. Another thing, Mahomes needs to beat the blitz. The Chiefs, the Bucks are going to run a 3-4-4-3. They're going to mix it up this week. And I definitely think that Mahomes is going to have to scramble a little bit more, which is also scary because he did go out with that concussion and was questionable for that game against who were they going to play?
You're talking about the
Browns.
The Browns matchup. Yeah.
And so he was going to be questionable for the next week. And so I think he needs to avoid the blitz, and he also needs to avoid taking hits like that. Third, don't force your run game. I think they were doing a lot of that with the Browns early on. I think they were trying to get their backs involved early, but don't try to fix an offense that's been amazing this year. If Tyreek Hill's open with a streak up the middle, throw it to him. If Kelsey's going to run a nice slant or an out route, throw it to him. Don't force the run game. And then they're going to need to get pressure on Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not a mobile quarterback. I think they're going to have to get in his face, make him he threw 3 picks against Green Bay. Make him throw 3 picks against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs will ultimately capitalize on that. And lastly, don't overthink your game plan. You've got Patrick Mahomes. Do what you've been doing all year, run your same system, and the Chiefs win.
Connor, thoughts?
Well, the Chiefs O-line is pretty banged up, so obviously you already mentioned it, beat the blitz. Mahomes is going to have to avoid Levante David, Shaquille Barrett, Devin Bush. Those guys are going to be coming for him all game. So the O-line is going to need to step up for the Chiefs. Tyrann Mathieu is going to have to play the way he's played all season, pick off Brady like the Packers did. Offense is going to be fine against this Bucs defense. It's just the O-line I worry about. And if you can get Tyreek Hill open like they did in the regular season by getting Tyreek Hill 270 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns in that matchup, the Chiefs are going to be fine. It's just a matter of can your O-line handle the Bucs pressure that they're going to send.
Sure.
I don't think that this is going to be a Super Bowl that we saw the last time Tom Brady was there. Yeah. And what I mean by that is that I don't think it's going to be a defensive matchup because we have 2 offensive powerhouses, to say the least. It was a high-scoring matchup when they took on each other in the regular season. Chiefs won that matchup, and a big reason they did win that matchup is because they forced the turnovers against Tom Brady, throwing a couple picks in that one. So again, I think forcing turnovers against Brady is going to be crucial for the Chiefs in this matchup. Again, they did it last time. That was really evident in why they won that game in the regular season matchup. Tom Brady, he's gonna have his touchdowns. He's gonna have his open receivers. But if you can make him force those difficult throws like he did against Green Bay, I don't see or envision any way Tom Brady throwing 3 interceptions like he did last time and come out with a win. So I think forcing turnovers is going to be a big thing for the Chiefs. Now let's flip it to the other side. What do the Bucs have to do to come out on top on Sunday? Connor, let's start with you this time.
It's supposed to be a rainy game, so I think they're going to have to take their shots early when they come. Quick short passes to start off, but eventually you're going to have to use Godwin, Evans, or Gronk early, and they're going to be fine in the first quarter. I think they'll get a touchdown or 2 in the first quarter. I think you're going to see some high-scoring offense early on. It's just a matter of can Brady make the right decisions with the weapons he has, and can Gronk perform to the Super Bowl level we know he can. let Brady do his work and let him work his magic like he always says in the Super Bowl. You know, he's had, I think, 6 Super Bowl wins. He's played in like 48% of the Super Bowl since 2000. It's just going to be up to Tom Brady, and can he manage under pressure once again?
Tavian?
I think in order for the Bucks to win, you're going to have to give Tom Brady kind of the answers before the snap. He can't go up to the line. He can't make audibles. He can't do a lot of the extracurricular stuff against the Chiefs because the Chiefs are going to be ready for it. You can't do that. In the NFC, he's kind of had an easier route a little bit just with the sense of starting off with Washington. So he was able to go up and do that. Washington did give him like a run for their money a little bit, but you have to give Tom Brady the answers before the snap. You got to know, hey, this is where we're going to go, that we can't disguise. We can't let Brady sit in the pocket because he's not mobile, like I said. Give Tom Brady the answers. And then Tom Brady needs to get hot with that deep ball. He needs to find a questionable Antonio Brown. We don't know. And then he also needs to find Mike Evans. And Mike Evans has actually struggled. There's a lot of open balls that he's dropped, and I think he needs to step up.
You can make an argument that there were at least one of Brady's interceptions that was because of Evans.
Yep,
yeah,
it's because of Evans, and I think he start with the deep ball early. Scotty Miller, get him on a scene, get him a shot. We saw his speed, and people on Twitter have been saying who's faster, Tyreek or Scotty Miller. And so, personally, I think it's Tyreek, but get Scotty Miller open on a seam, and then also the Bucks pass rush needs to get safe pressure on Mahomes, because Mahomes, he's a magician. He's gonna find the weirdest routes, and he's gonna make the pass. But yeah, you need to get safe pressure, kind of contain him. Don't bull rush because he's gonna get outside. Contain that pocket for him. If he's in there for a little bit, okay, cool. But if the moment you kind of get to him and he escapes, he's gone. And then Jamel Dean needs to survive the Tyreek Hill challenge. It's gonna be a long night for him if Tyreek is just gonna blow by him. And I think the Bucks are also need to work on their defense of having a safety over the top. And when safeties are only used to playing like maybe 15 yards off the ball, but Tyreek, you might have to run up man up 3 deep early on with him. And then lastly, I think the Chiefs are gonna have to make some mistakes. Force Mahomes to throw picks. Force Bell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire to fumble the ball and stop them behind the line, and even force the defense to make mistakes. Run some different patterns on offense and get the DBs off guard.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Again, letting Mahomes get settled, I think, is a doomsday scenario for the Bucks. If he comes out, first drive, just takes it all the way down, 75 yards, touchdown, he's comfortable like that, I think it's over at that point. Because if he is comfortable to start this game, I don't see him getting out of that rhythm. I really don't. So again, I agree with what you say. Put pressure on Mahomes. Make sure it's not an easy pocket escape. So, I mean, you could talk about putting a spy on Mahomes, but again, you cannot let him get comfortable back in that offensive line behind there because that is going to be a problem. And then obviously, on the other side, protecting the football for the Bucks is going to be crucial. You go out with no more than 1 turnover in this matchup, you have a good shot.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's going to be those 2 things going into this matchup. All right, we got to talk about something other than football, though. It's related to football. I wanted to talk about it because I think it's kind of interesting. So The Weeknd performing for the halftime show. It's going to be a little interesting this year. Not sure what to expect.
Yeah.
He put in $8 million of his own money for this halftime show because it wasn't what he wanted. So he put his own money into it. So I don't know if you're a fan of The Weeknd or not. I personally am, so I might be a little biased here. Is this going to be one of the greatest halftime shows, or is it going to be another flop? Connor, what are your thoughts?
I think it's got to be. I mean, if he cares this much to put $8 million of his own money into it, then he's not going to waste his chance. I mean, I think it was, the biggest artist of the year last year on Spotify. The modern-day Michael Jackson is definitely going to put on a show.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be
That's bold.
Gonna be a fun
That is bold. Tavian.
Personally, in my opinion, Bruno Mars in 2014 had the best Super Bowl halftime show. And I consider him to be the modern day Michael Jackson. And Black Eyed Peas was an honorable mention as one of the best ones too. But if he's putting $8 million of his own money, it has to be the best halftime show. It can't be the second best, can't be the third best, it has to be the best. Because that's your own money you're putting in. And granted, we haven't seen He hasn't been on tour, and he just recently announced his tour dates for next year. And so I think that he's kind of like, he has to set the tone with his Super Bowl performance. And if it's a flop, he might not even have a tour next year. And so I think it has to be the best one. It can't be the worst. And yeah, if it's second, it's a flop in my opinion. If it's the first, great, but if it's second, it's a flop.
All right, so is it? That's what I want to know. Is it going to be the best?
I think it's not going to be the best.
You don't think so?
I don't think it'll be the best because as an artist, you feed off of fans. And obviously there's not going to be a lot of fans in there. And the first, I think, 20 row, or the lower deck or something, is straight LED panels that they built. And so, like, he's not going to see people's faces. I doubt they're going to have people on the field like usually you see. They'll let people come in on the field and stuff. I doubt you'll see that. And I think it's going to be a little bit awkward for him. I feel like, in my honest opinion, I feel like they would have been better off doing a pre-recorded halftime show if you can't have that fan experience like you want to. So it will not be the best halftime show.
All right. I'm going to stay mute on this one. I'm not going to have any opinion. We're just going to find out and see. All right, we have hit our break. We'll be right back for some more analysis of the upcoming Super Bowl. Stay with us. This is the Top of the Key. Welcome back. Well, it's yet another Super Bowl for Tom Brady. The debate continues, and it's a little different this time. He's on a different team. He's in a different conference. So maybe it has a little more value and importance in his overall career of whether or not Tom Brady can be considered the greatest of all time. So let's talk about that debate. In your opinion, Tavian, I want to start with you. Is Brady considered the greatest of all time with or without another Super Bowl victory?
If he wins, he's the GOAT. If he loses, he's the GOAT. I don't think there's a debate whether or not he's the greatest of all time or not. I will say, though, I believe Aaron Rodgers has the better skill set. I think if you were to give me a draft, even with Brady, all of Brady is like championships. I'm looking at the skill set. I'll take Rodgers any day over Brady. And it goes with the basketball conversation. Is Jordan the GOAT or is LeBron the GOAT? Jordan's going to be the GOAT, but LeBron's going to be the best athlete to ever go through the NBA. And so Brady, if he wins, that's great. That's 7 rings. He's going to be the GOAT. If he loses, that's still 6 rings. He's going to be the GOAT. I don't think we'll see someone come up to that. Mahomes could be if he goes back-to-back with this win. But I don't think there's a question whether or not Tom Brady's the GOAT or not.
Connor.
Yeah, you brought up a good point about Aaron Rodgers being like the best athlete maybe, and Brady just being the most clutch player we've ever seen. So he's absolutely up there. Like you said, if he wins Sunday and gets MVP, he's solidified for me as the GOAT. I don't think there's any doubt. He's completed 65% of his passes for almost 3,000 yards and 18 touchdowns to 6 picks in the Super Bowl. It's just an unbelievable stat. 33 passes for 20-plus yards in the Super Bowl, 2 of which have gone for touchdowns. He's played 18 seasons with a playoff game, the most in NFL history. So he definitely has the experience. Mahomes has a while to get there. You know, the richest quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's just going to take him time to get there. And so if he wins Sunday, definitely is on the right track to becoming at that same status as Brady. But right now, Brady is the GOAT.
It's wild to think that Tom Brady has been to as many Super Bowls in the NFC, coming from an NFC team as Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. But that's where we are today. So again, I like the conversation of how you describe what's the greatest of all time. Is it simply your resume or is it your talent? And I like splitting that up too because you have a lot of talented athletes who never won an NBA Finals, but they were still phenomenal athletes and they went to the Hall of Fame. So again, I think it really depends on your circumstances. If you can place Aaron Rodgers in Tom Brady's shoes for all the years that he was at New England and now where he's at Tampa Bay, does he win as much as Brady does? That's the question. And, I mean, it could be reasoned that yes, but I think the one thing that sticks out about Brady is despite all the winning he has done, his motivation has stayed exactly where it was when he came into the league. It was, we're going to do this. We're not going to settle for coming in second. Because did you guys hear about this story when Tampa Bay won the NFC Championship? One of the players was emotional, and rightfully so. You're going to the Super Bowl for the first time. and he's, what the, are you crying about? We still have work to do.
Yeah.
That is what a leader is on a football team.
Definitely.
So I think that's one of the great things that sticks out to Tom Brady. So he's motivated despite all of his winning. He's not settling. And the other thing I think that just also sticks out is how old he continues to grow, but still has been about the same athlete. Obviously, he's gotten a little slower over the years, and his arm can't throw as far as it used to, but he's still a phenomenal athlete and one of the best quarterbacks right now in our time.
Yep.
So I think that's what really sticks out. So I would say, win or lose Sunday, he is, in my book, is the greatest of all time.
Definitely.
All right. So we've talked about what each team has to do, whether Brady is the GOAT or not coming into this matchup. Now let's talk about implications after this Super Bowl. MVP predictions. Let's start with Tavian. What do you have?
Mahomes will be the safe bet. I'm going to take Tyreek Hill, though, as the MVP, simply because he's a playmaker. And I think this is just a single game MVP, but when you look at, like, in the NBA, you go for kind of like the flashiness a little bit. And Tyreek Hill has the flashiness to be the Super Bowl MVP simply because he doesn't just catch it and go down, catches it and goes down. He catches it and makes plays. Like, yards after catch is outstanding for him. And Mahomes, great quarterback, but sometimes he does get bailed out because he has Tyreek Hill to dump it off to, and then a 10-yard pass turns into a 60-yard touchdown. And so I think they definitely have to look into that. Mahomes, he might win it. He might have a great stat line, but I think don't overshadow Tyreek Hill's ability to be a playmaker on the field. So he's my MVP.
All right. Connor?
Yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but Tyreek Hill had 270 yards and 3 touchdowns versus the Bucs in November. So it's just a matchup nightmare for that Bucs defense. So obviously it's either going to be Tyreek Hill for me or it's going to be Travis Kelce because you can't really guard either of those if you're the Bucs. It's going to be one of them. I think Mahomes is still going to be Mahomes. It's going to be close. But all three of those guys are going to be right there for contention. So whoever shows up that night is definitely getting it. But if the Bucs win, I mean, without a doubt, it's got to be Brady.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can't really give it to anybody else on the Bucs besides Brady just because of his leadership and his just status in the game. I don't think the Bucs would really go to the Super Bowl this year without Brady. I think if they still had Jameis Winston as quarterback, they would not be where they are right now.
Definitely. And I think the Bucs, they share the ball so much
Yeah.
to where it has to be Brady.
Yeah.
Or if someone on defense steps up, it could be a defensive player. But if Brady throws 3 picks, he would still be the MVP simply because they spread the ball so much.
Yeah.
And so
I'm going to get a little off topic because I love the weird algorithm. No, I don't love it. I hate the algorithm. Have you ever played Madden and you're in the Super Bowl and your quarterback throws for, probably 5 touchdowns, no picks, 500 yards, but one of your cornerbacks had a pick 6, and that's their only stat, and they win MVP.
Yeah, that's the MVP.
It's the weirdest thing that they've never corrected. So the whole reason I'm bringing that up is because I don't know who else could win the MVP if the Bucs win other than Brady. So unless somebody has a pick 6 like Madden, I think it sticks with Brady if the Bucs win. Other side with Chiefs, again, I think you have to bring into the factor with Travis Kelce and how dominant he has been in the big moments. Same thing with Tyreek Hill, Mahomes. I think we've really concluded that more likely than not, it would be one of those 3 who came down to the MVP, assuming they won that matchup. So that's my take on it. And now the moment of truth. Score predictions. Who wins the Super Bowl? Do the Chiefs go back-to-back, or does Brady get yet another ring? Connor, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say 38-35 Chiefs. I'm taking the spread here. I think it's going to be such a tight game. I think in the first half you're going to see a lot of deep balls and a lot of throws deep downfield. Mahomes is going to get going early, and I think when that happens, they're just not going to let up. I think the Bucs will come back in the second half and give them a push. It's just going to be tough for – I'm saying Brady's going to throw 2 interceptions. I think that's a pretty reasonable number to go with. It's just going to be tough for the Bucs to recover from their turnovers. And, I think the Chiefs take this one.
nice. I have 31-27 KC, and I think it'll be a slow start for both teams. But I think ultimately, after kind of like the first couple drives for the Chiefs, I do think they might score the first drive, but from there, it'll be a slump. But I think they'll pick it up just because you have Andy Reid, one of the best offensive minds in the game. And I think right behind him is Cliff Kingsbury, in my opinion. But I think they're gonna have a game plan to where it's like it's the last game of the season. We have so many plays up our sleeve to where if we do go into a slump, we have a trick play up our sleeves to get something. So I have it 31-27 KC.
The only reason I would really ever pick the Buccaneers in this matchup is because one factor, and it's Tom Brady, because he's been there more than anybody else.
Don't bet against Brady.
Yeah.
However, you look at both of these teams, and you can clearly tell which one is the more talented position by position, and it's Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's Kansas City's Super Bowl to lose. It really is. Tom Brady is going to see if he can do it with the age, the transition down south to Florida. Can he do it? Can he prove Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick wrong?
Yeah.
He's made it. That says a lot. But can he win it? I have the Chiefs winning 38-29. I think it's going to be a good matchup. But again, turnovers and a powerhouse offense that the Chiefs have, I think it's going to be tough to stop.
Yeah.
All right. That is all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning into Top of the Key, a weekly sports podcast for the ACU Optimist. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have a great weekend.